Good evening. I'll just make it short and frank. For years, this Texas Freedom Force and other caring citizens battled through dozens of meetings, rallies, and committees to save the cenotaph. All the while they proclaimed, don't move the cenotaph. And finally, the Texas Historical Commission listened to Texas and declared, don't move the cenotaph, the will of the people. For years, we listened to monotonous programs of paper pushers, architects, corporate non-Texans and biased government officials selling their Alamo theme park venture. They were very insistent that moving the cenotaph would still somehow show reverence to the fallen heroes, even as they planned and conspired to rewrite the history of the Alamo by embedding non-relevant events and stories into the narrative. The effect, of course, would be to water down, by diversity and inclusion, this narrative of the Battle of the Alamo. Through the so-called master plan, they sought or seeks to minimize the sacrifice of men whose actions and death led to the Republic of Texas and later to this great state that we live in now. But what about the current situation regarding the cenotaph? Is security non-existent now? Is there no reverence being shown by allowing the monument, the empty tomb, to remain unsecure, allowing the monument to be marred and defaced as disgraceful? Is the present slogan of this city now to ignore the cenotaph? To look the other way to vandalism? Where are the cameras that were to be installed on the north side? Where are the park police? The fact that a previous vandal, Noah Escamillia, was not even given a slap on the hand is very disturbing. It has happened again now, and no one saw anything. Apparently no one was looking. Is there any real concern that property in the city is compromised? If so, then install cameras, patrol the area, and insist on punishment for vandals at the Alamo complex, just as you would other criminal activity at any other site. This incompetent handling makes me think that Texans will need to spend more time again here and at the state capitol addressing this. Defending and protecting Texas history is what this is Texas Freedom Force has always been about. From documents to physical structures, all are Texas history, including the Alamo Cenotaph.
Thank you, Mr. Henry.
Thank you.
Brian Smith.
Thomas Haney's going to waive his minutes to me.
Mr. Haney?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to waive those over to him.
Okay. You have 6 minutes.
Thank you. Well, good evening, Mayor, City Council members. I'm the Vice President here of this Texas Freedom Force. I know all of y'all know about us. We're not strangers to y'all, so I'm just going to get to the point here. I'm going to try to finish up and piggyback on what Lamar said. Are y'all aware of August 4th, what happened to the cenotaph? I'm sure y'all are because y'all are City Council members. It was tagged again. They got us angry. Again, we're angry. Not just us, but many Texans, because they're saying, I thought San Antonio was supposed to be protecting it. San Antonio City Council, Mayor, all y'all leaders, district, councilmen here, this district, we haven't heard anything from any of y'all. Today's the 17th of August. Why haven't we heard anything? Has there been an arrest? No, there's not been an arrest. I've checked. Nobody's been holding that accountable. Not only that, after we were told about that incident on the 4th, I spent 2.5 hours downtown at Cenotaph, the Alamo. Not once did I see a police park ranger. Now that's sad. When it comes to it, regardless of what y'all think about it, this is tourist attraction going on right now. People are coming to the Alamo, and then the cenotaph has been tagged again. Why? Why isn't there somebody keeping an eye on it? To my understanding, there's supposed to be at least 2 park policemen there at the cenotaph, in that area, I should say, at all times. I've had other members since that day, including today, as a matter of fact, since the 4th, that have gone patrolled the area on their own, because that's what we do. They have not seen park police out there. Maybe one might drive by, ride the bike by, but none are stationary. My question to the city council is, why is that? Now, I don't know really what y'all feel deep inside, but us Texans are saying y'all need to take control of this and put somebody out there. It's supposed to be protected. Now, I know many of y'all don't feel as, heart in your heart Cenotaph like we do, or Texas history, but that's besides the point. What I want to make sure is when we talk to the Texans out there, 254 counties, that we say, yeah, we've talked to the city council, we brought it to their attention. Like they said, the ball is in y'all's court now. And that's what's going to be. Because whatever happens, it's like a football game, right? The quarterback gets the blame if y'all win or lose. Right now, y'all are the quarterback. If anything else happens to that Cenotaph, anything happens to the Alamo or anything of that nature here in San Antonio, y'all are the blame. It takes our organization to make sure Texas knows what's happening. If y'all going to protect it, we'll let them know. We'll let Texas know that y'all going to protect it. If it's not going to be protected, this is Texas Freedom Force. We'll come out and protect it again. We have and we will. Just not like the Alamo, not like the Cenotaph, but all of the statues and all of our historical monuments here in Texas. We do that. Y'all know that. I hate to say this. This is not a threat. This is a promise. This is what we do. We take it to heart to see one of our great monuments here in San Antonio, in the state of Texas, that many people across the world come out to see. And to see it being tagged again is just a disgrace. Now, all I can tell you is now, it's up to y'all. It's up to y'all. Because this Texas Freedom Force is ready to take that role again if we have to. Thank you.
For those of y'all that do not know me, my name is Brandon Burkhart. I'm the president of This is Texas Freedom Force. As you can see, I'm missing a partner, my service dog, who's usually here because he's passed away, but don't worry, 9 months from now, I've got an entire master that will be replacing him. The reason that we're coming in here today is to talk about the Alamo Cenotaph and the vandalism that has taken place on the Cenotaph now twice. On May 29th, 2020, the Alamo Cenotaph was vandalized by Noah Escamillia. The police would have never caught this guy because there was no cameras on the north end of the Alamo Cenotaph that would be able to catch him. The only reason that they were able to catch him and charge him was because he vandalized other areas in the city of downtown San Antonio, and those cameras were able to identify him. Shortly after that took place, we came into city council. Many of y'all were not here during that time. There were other people that were serving on the council. And we asked for a camera to be put in on the north side of the Alamo Plaza that would be able to identify anybody that's doing this type of damage. The first time that they vandalized the Alamo Cenotaph, it cost the city $3,900. That's per a Freedom of Information Act request that we put in. I think that there's a lot of things, potholes, whether it be sidewalks, street lights, that could go to in y'all's districts, instead of having to pay for a vandal that comes out and vandalizes a historical monument. Now, August 4th, we had the same vandalism happen again. This time, instead of spray paint, it was a red magic marker that was spray painted. Police do not have a suspect because this time, which we believe it's the same person, we can't prove it yet, but when we do, we will turn over our findings to the San Antonio Police Department. But we believe the same guy did this because he knows that there's no camera there. He's not going to get in trouble. Since the August 4th incident took place, This is Texas Freedom Force has put members as well as directors out in the plaza after hours, late at night. We've seen 2 hours go by, 3 hours go by before we ever see a San Antonio bike patrol officer come by. It's just sitting there with nobody protecting it. The Alamo Rangers are only required to go by the Alamo Cenotaph, walk by it once per hour. So for 55 minutes out of that hour, that's left unsecured. We'd like to be able to see officers two officers put on the north side of the Alamo Plaza, as well as 2 officers on the south side of the plaza. Normally, it would only take 2 officers, but because of the barricades that are in the middle, you don't have visibility from the north side to the south side and the south side to the north side that we use. We'd also like to see the Alamo Rangers, which we were going to meet with them, to see if a permanent position can be fixed for the Alamo Rangers during the night hours, that somebody is standing there next to the Alamo Cenotaph. That's Texas's most sacred monument, whether y'all like it or not. Those are the men that fought and died to give us Texas. They deserve a lot better than what they're getting right now. And I know the Alamo drives in lots of tourist dollars for you guys. I mean, everybody in the world knows what the Alamo is. And people travel to see that. The best we could do is put up a camera that would cost us maybe $1,000, and we wouldn't have to put up with these $4,000 and $2,000 incidences that are taking place. Another thing that we'd like to bring up is that we're not real happy about Noah Escamillia, which is the guy that vandalized the Cenotaph the first time, going to the 290th court under Democratic District Judge Jennifer Pena, and having his case dropped, as well as his record sealed on that issue. Is that the kind of message that we send to our citizens out there? It's okay to get away with crime? I don't think so. I tell you what, if I'd have done something like that, y'all wouldn't have to worry about the punishment. My mom would have taken care of me. And his family should have taken care of him. But something has to be done, and we need to see something like this, because I know the last thing you want, Mayor, is to see TITFF armed down there every night to protect that cenotaph till something's done. And you know that we'll make good on that promise. So, but we were bringing it to you guys because we want you guys to solve the problem, so we don't have to get involved. Thank you.
Council members, I was granted a great privilege to hand deliver a letter to the mayor from a wonderful woman in the city and the state of Texas. Due to medical reasons, she's unable to be here. Though she tried to, she's not allowed to. This is her letter to you. Hello, Mayor and member. My name is Tammy Hawley. We have not met in person, so I would like to introduce myself through the person that is reading my statement. I'm a direct descendant of 2 Alamo defenders, Jordan C. Jennings, the oldest offender at the Alamo, and Maja Audrey, friend and traveling companion of David Crockett. At the age of 10 years, my 3 times great-grandmother, Katie Jennings, made a bareback Paul Revere-style ride to warn Texans and settlers in Bastrop County that the Army in Santa Ana were approaching, thus saving countless lives. My 3 times great-uncle fought with General Sam Houston at San Jacinto and defeated Santa Ana, granting Texas its independence. My ancestors were also some of the original German settlers in New Braunfels. My family history runs deep in the state of Texas. I am a member of the Alamo Defenders Descendants Association and a member of This Is Texas Freedom Force. Now that you know a little of my family history, maybe you will understand why I'm so disappointed and frankly just pissed off that the city of San Antonio has not completely and shown unwillingness to take proper care and protect the Alamo and the Cenotaph. The Cenotaph is the only grave marker of my ancestors. After the last time the Cenotaph was vandalized and permanently defaced, May 29, 2020, have cameras not been installed. Now it has happened yet again, August 4th, 2022. Given that this is defaced in the exact same location, it tells me the city of San Antonio does not care about the most famous monument at the location of the most famous battle in the United States of America. Why don't you care? While we are on the subject, in 2020, during the Antifa and BLM riots, less than 24 hours after the Cenotaph was vandalized the Alamo was attacked by approximately 4,000 of these group members. The Alamo was literally saved by approximately 150 armed citizens of the state of Texas. This is Texas Freedom Force and a few of Open Carry, Texas. If it had not been for these brave men holding the line in front of the Alamo, not only protecting the Alamo itself, but also the members of the Alamo Rangers and San Antonio Police Department, the Alamo likely would have been permanently damaged or destroyed. If citizens knew Antifa and BLM were planning, surely the city of San Antonio knew this as well. Why? Why were adequate precautions not taken? Why don't you care? Thank you.
Ehrenberg and other members of our San Antonio City Council. For the record, my name is Jack M. Finger. Yes, folks, if your reverence for history doesn't exist, if your sense of patriotism does not exist, perhaps one thing that might influence you is money. Yeah. Check with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. They will tell you how many thousands of tourists visit the Alamo. Maybe tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions over the years visit the Alamo and the area next to it. Those tourists, they visit, they walk around, they look at other nearby buildings, they spend money on our businesses around the area. They intend to come back at times. Their children may intend to come back. Why would they want to come back if they see a vandalized cenotaph nearby there? They get the impression that we don't care about what's going on there. They don't care that we care about history and about whom we think are heroes who spent their lives many years ago. Now, but to add insult to injury, when a perpetrator vandalizes it, he gets off scot-free. Yes. What was the judge that let him go free? Jennifer Pena, I think her name was. Yes. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's because we have a lax administration with our district attorney, and he lets misdemeanors just go away. Now, what's going to happen when that perpetrator comes back and he becomes emboldened to do more damage, like destroying it, chipping it away, getting a sledgehammer and really destroying things? Do you really want to go through all that when you could easily put up cameras and start stopping this stuff? Or at least have more frequent rounds of the state officers that protect the Alamo. It doesn't have to be this way. Now, Mr. Mayor, you are the leader. You are a spokesperson. Do you really want this to happen? Do you really want to do nothing? Come on, folks.
Mr. Mayor, as everyone who signed up